You want to know what's the most revealing thing about this whole Epstein files? Is how fake the U.S. outrage is about child safety. And if you know anything about old girl America, you know that she's permitted legalized rape, slavery, lynching, murder, you name it. And by the way, a lot of those were kids. Now, arguably, they were not white kids, but they were kids. And I can't say I'm shocked, let alone even surprised, because this is the America that I'm used to. But the most striking thing is that the U.S. has at least 33, 34 states that permit legalized child rape in the form of child marriage. And of these 33, 34, four of those states, California, Mississippi, New Mexico, and I think Oklahoma, has no minimums. And that basically is saying that if they're emancipated, if they are given parental consent, if there is a judicial waiver, something like that, that they can be entered into a contract. And I'm just like, that doesn't even make sense. So whatever the legal maneuvering is, whether it's parental consent, pregnancy, my thing is that at one point we're saying that kids can't consent to contracts. They can't enter into contracts. And apparently they can't break them because trying to get a divorce, trying to flee from a domestic violence situation to a shelter, or getting any legal help, they're going to need some type of adult supervision or some type of consent given, right? Because these are the legal barriers that they face because of their age. Go figure, right? This is America. And another, I guess, I don't even know if I want to say striking, but I'm going to say striking anyway, thing is that the U.S. is the only UN member state that has signed but not ratified the Convention for the Rights of the Child. I mean, because after all, we did say that food isn't a basic right, So I guess that wouldn't be too far-fetched. Consistency is the key. The hypocrisy is the key. I mean, the fact that a 12-year-old can be entered into a contract to marry a 400-year-old person and that be considered acceptable just because the parent says it's okay. I mean, everybody should be outraged. That should never be acceptable under any circumstance. And then what's equally important is that a lot of people that are screaming and release the Epstein files wouldn't release the names of their fathers, their brothers, their uncles, their pastors, their priests, their coaches, their aunties, their mothers, for doing some of the same things to kids. Or hear me out. Maybe their lips are so tight because they are protecting these same groups of people, because they already know they've committed these types of atrocities against kids. So it's hard for me to believe that some Americans are outraged over this Epstein whole tragedy, because if you look at whether it's RAIN or some other organization that deals with kids or rape and stuff like that, 1 in every 9 minutes a child is being assaulted, essayed. So to me, that's not something that's rare. That's something that happens all the time. And we should have been outraged. We should have been outraged, hell, well before even Sandy Hook. But here we are again, sitting here, and you have half of the population who are just going about their business, not even caring. And then you have the other half who are, some are invested, some are not. And it's just like kind of, there's no turning over furniture. There's no real, let's burn this fucker down type outrage. And that's the crazy thing to me about the American outrage, is the stuff they put our kids through, whether it's having to go through these drills for active shooters or something like that. It doesn't surprise me that no one has faced any consequences other than Ghislaine Maxwell and half-heartedly Epstein. The sitting president of the United States is in the Epstein files. and no one in Congress has put forth any actionable anything with teeth to say that motherfucker need to come out. He need to resign. He needs to be impeached. Nothing. It's crazy. So that's why it's just, to me, it just seems like it's full outrage, and that's why I can't, for the life of me, I just can't take it serious. But that's just my 2 cents.